Hi everybody, it's Charles Maring here, and I wanted to talk today about cinematography for weddings and events and how the Maring Visuals team is utilizing Canon's DSLR line of cameras for our motion picture because of the pristine footage that it allows us to capture. Well, every time we go out and give a lecture on this particular topic, somebody in the audience always seems to ask, why not just use a professional level camcorder as opposed to a DSLR for your motion picture? Well, there's a lot of answers to that question, but I want to focus on one particular topic today, and that's the size of the chips that are in the DSLR cameras. The size of the chip in your camera directly relates to just how pristine that footage looks, especially in low light situations. Now, our team we feel it's very important to remain extremely unobtrusive at our weddings and events. We want to be that person who's the fly on the wall, capturing moments from the sidelines as they truly unfold, and not having to fictionalize things with off-camera or on-camera lighting and blast people with light. Well, DSLRs allow us to do that much better and allow us to capture the footage in a way that's going to look more beautiful to watch on these big screen televisions that everybody's utilizing today. And the chip size that is in the 5D Mark II is a full-frame 35mm chip. Well, take a look at this diagram here. If this were a CCD, you can see that a 35mm full-frame chip is a lot of real estate for capturing light. As we step down to the next size, the APS size chip, that's often found in Canon's other line of DSLR cameras, like the 1D Mark IV that I'm holding here in my hands, which is also a lot of real estate for capturing in low light, and also very similar to the Hollywood cameras that we have out there today in terms of depth of field, because it's much like a super 35mm film format. As we step down beyond that, the 4.3, 2/3, or half-inch chips are often found in consumer-level cameras, and believe it or not, the 1/3 inch chip is the most popular in professional-level HD camcorders on the market. Now, let's take a look at this particular clip at a wedding that's captured on an HD camcorder that's a very popular camcorder for wedding video. And you'll notice that in this low-light situation, the footage is beautiful, but there's a lot of noise there. And no matter what we did, it was very difficult to keep the noise levels down to a level that we would want them to be. Now, take a look at a similar clip captured on an HD DSLR camera in a similar lighting situation, and you'll see that the footage is absolutely beautiful and pristine, almost noiseless, and that is the #1 reason that we're utilizing HD DSLRs as opposed to video cameras for our weddings and events. Now, let's take a look beyond that though, the larger the chip size, the more depth of field that you're going to have in your imagery, and what that means is it's going to allow the cinematographer to control what the viewer of the film focuses their eyes on. So for instance, look at the human experience, and if we hold our hand a foot in front of our face and we stare at our fingertips, what we'll notice is that just our fingertips are in focus and everything else falls secondarily out of focus and out of place. Well, the same thing holds true in the human eye if we look at something 5 feet or 10 feet away. The object we stare at is in focus and everything else falls out of focus. That's the human experience. Well, with a 1/3 inch chip, the depth of field isn't as great, which means that you're going to have more in focus when you're watching the video. It's not going to be as human-like and lifelike. Well, if you want your footage to be cinematic, that's where these cameras come in handy, because in the clip you see here, for instance, we're able to have the cinematographer out of focus, focus in on the bride's face, and then focus through and back out of focus if they wish to. And that's what the human experience is like on an everyday basis. So the footage that these capture is not only more beautiful, but it's more Hollywood, more lifelike, more cinematic, more like the human experience. And that's why we're choosing Canon's DSLR line of cameras to capture all of our cinematography and motion picture at weddings and events.